Good evening to you, my friends. It is a pleasure to come and to talk with you and to give you that inspiration that you may be looking for as you ask many questions within your mind. And that is why we spoke earlier of thoughts and how important it is that you take notice of what you are thinking and indeed of what you are feeling. Because you know, sometimes when somebody may speak to you and maybe not in a kind way, you can be devastated by the feeling that has come with those words. You see, we all interact one with the other as you walk along life's pathway. But you know, there are those in the spirit world that also walk with you. It is very important to understand that there is indeed life after death, that life continues, that the spirit that you are will move forward and onwards in life. It is you in your world of matter that happen to think, more often or not, that death is the end of the journey. Well, yes, death is the end of the physical journey, but it is not the end of the spiritual journey that your spirit, your true self, is making. And whilst you are in the physical form of the body, then your spirit is a little bit inhibited, to say the least. In your world there is much death and destruction, and there is much before your very eyes that is brought to you through the media, that brings into your mind thoughts of doom and gloom, and not necessarily thoughts of life continuing after that point that you call death, that we call transition from one state of awareness to another. And so it is that you every day live with your own thoughts. And believe it or believe it not, nobody can read your mind. You are in total control of your mind. And it is, what shall we say, not an easy task. Because sometimes, you know, your mind will run away with you, especially when you are feeling a little down in the dumps, shall we say. Then everything is not good. Everything is a bother. Everything is troublesome. Especially when you are facing your own grief for those that you have loved, that have departed from the physical world of life. And so you have to be able to have time to bring your thoughts back into positivity. And many, without any religious belief system, will instinctively say that their loved one has moved on in life, and they feel very often that presence around and about. Many people just think that that personality that has moved on in life is there to assist them, has not disappeared from their life, and their memories, their thoughts, keep them going when they are able to remember the good times that they had with that personality. Be it a member of the family or a close friend, there is still something that keeps your mind active in wishing them well as they have departed the physical life. Many, want to have a good send-off more often than not. And it is a good idea that you do not dwell on the fact of the loss, but think about the continuous existence as being a truth, a given, you might say. Does not matter what belief system you may have followed, or you may have followed none at all, because the Spirit will automatically transform and transcend the vibrations of the earth into that life anew. Too many people, cannot get over the grief and the loss of the physical part that is so real in the physical world. But when you open your mind and your heart and your spirit, then you can indeed feel that you have understood a little bit more of what life is about. We are all influenced, by one another. If it is not by somebody's words, it can be by somebody's actions. And sometimes, people are bereft at the loss of their loved one. And it is difficult to understand the changes that have to take place when the partner, the child, has been, as you would say, lost. Life in the physical world is not easy, but we tell to you that everybody that has spirit within, which includes the animal kingdom and indeed the kingdom of nature itself, the things transform and change is constant. You may have good memories of when you were growing up. You may have not so good memories of when you were growing up, but you all interact with others that are close to you for whatever reason. You have to make decisions, you have to be your own person. And that is all called, in your world, growing up. And it is difficult as an adult to perhaps change your ways of thinking. But you have to pursue that spirit that is within you, the guidance that you have, the intuition that you feel. How many of you can say that when you go against what you are feeling, then things start to fall apart? You have to be honest with yourself. You have to find that strength from within yourself. That it is God the Creator that has put within you that spirit. And despite all the trauma within your world, many are fleeing from the oppression where there is not freedom of expression. And within your world you have man fighting man. You may have just celebrated the fact that it was 70 years ago that the Second World War ended. And yet you look around through your media to see that everyone seems to be fighting everyone else. You see, you want to have an association with others, but you also want to be in charge of others. You have to sometimes be in charge of a child or somebody that is vulnerable in one way or another. And yet the only thing you can be in charge of is yourself. You are responsible for your own actions. You too can sometimes change your thought pattern, as was said in the reading, through meditation, through sitting in the peace and quiet of yourself. Not many in this world have much time to find a peace and quiet, but you have come here, and for a moment or two you can find that peace, that quietness, not particularly within the building, but within yourself. But there are many vibrations within this building that would build up that peace, that quiet that you are seeking, and give you pointers along the way. And so then you see, when you find strength within, then you can go about God's work, showing to others through your actions that you have this understanding of life after death. If many people understood that, then although they would have to go through the grieving process of that physical loss, they will be helped along the way, because they will know that their loved one is continuing life, but only in a different dimension. It is important, therefore, that we do send our thoughts out to God the Creator to bring peace, to bring healing to this world. Because when we send out our thoughts for others, then the Spirit will draw close to us and give us that encouragement to use our spirituality in our day-to-day living. You may be able to read many different holy books that will show you the way. For Jesus came to bring the light to the world, the light of understanding of the spiritual aspect of mankind. It is important, therefore, that we do from time to time take a step back from the rat race of life, to sit quietly, to take notice of our thoughts, to help others by sending those thoughts out and asking God and the spirit realm for help. Not one question is left unanswered, you know. But the more questions that you have answered, the more questions that there are to ask. For life is but continuous. It may be beyond understanding some of the truths of the Spirit, but we are all here on the earth vibration to learn about ourselves, to learn about the essence of who and what we are. It is the Spirit within you that gives you that life, and it is the Spirit within you that will move you forward as you move forward in life, and take with you that growing understanding that there is no death. We all have to adapt to many changes in life, and one big adaptation is that of wondering how we are going to manage without that loved one that we feel part of. It is good, therefore, to seek answers to questions, and it is good that we are able from time to time to speak to you from those realms of light, to encourage you, to give you that confidence in your own abilities, to give you that strength, because you all have strong characters, you know, but some are more willing than others to show the strength of their character, to show the strength of their spirit. And you know, just to show one kindness to another is doing God's work and bringing that love from the realms of the spirit into the realms of the material world. It happens all over your world that people show compassion to another and help them when they are at their lowest ebb. And so remember that you can always turn your thoughts to the highest, to that of the Creator, to bring you guidance, to bring you love, so that you are never alone in your journey through life, particularly when you are living in the physical world. And so we say to you, my friends, your thoughts are important to us and to you. And we say to you, a good night and God bless.